Close your eyes, breathe slowly, and let the noise of the present moment drift away, like smoke curling above a dying fire. You are about to step into the corridors of time, into places where footsteps long faded still echo, where voices of the past whisper beneath the surface of silence. We begin not with kings or queens, not with monuments of stone that claw at the heavens, but with something simpler, something closer to the pulse of ordinary life. A room of timber and thatch, lit by trembling firelight, filled with the scent of smoke and ale. The tavern. In the medieval world, the tavern was not just a place to drink. It was a breathing heart of the village and the town. It was where gossip flowed like wine, where laughter and anger spilled as easily as beer from a cracked wooden cup. Step closer now. The heavy door groans open. The air inside is thick, warm, chaotic. Rough hands slam dice upon a table. A bard strums a lute, his song half drowned by the roar of drunken cheer. A dog snarls at the feet of a beggar. A knight, armor dented and dusty, leans heavily against the bar, while a farmer fresh from the fields gulps down bitter ale as if it were salvation. The tavern keeper watches it all. He is the silent ruler of this kingdom of noise. His voice cuts through quarrels like a blade. His hand decides who drinks and who is thrown into the mud outside. Here, beneath the roof blackened by smoke, hierarchies dissolve for a fleeting moment. The lord might drink beside the peasant. The thief might laugh with the monk. And all are bound by the clatter of mugs, the warmth of fire, the raw fellowship of survival. But listen carefully. The tavern is not only noise. If you soften your ears, you will hear secrets. Whispers traded in dark corners. Plans of rebellion, of forbidden love, of debts unpaid and fortunes dreamed. Here, truth and lies mix like spilled ale soaking into straw. Here, the very soul of the medieval world shows its face. Wild, desperate, hungry, yet alive with stories. As we enter, let time slow. Let the flickering of the torches cast long shadows upon the walls of your mind. Let the sound of laughter mingle with the low hum of voices speaking in forgotten tongues. You're here now. Inside the tavern of the Middle Ages, where every night was a theater, every face a character, every drink a curtain lifting upon another tale. And so, our journey begins. Through taverns and palaces, across deserts and mountains, beneath the waters of lost civilizations. Each scene will carry you deeper, as if rocking you gently into sleep. The voices of history will lull you, and the mysteries of time will unfold, slowly, carefully, like a scroll unrolled at midnight. Breathe again. Feel the warmth of the fire. Feel the rough bench beneath you. Hear the footsteps of strangers passing through. Welcome to the first doorway of forgotten worlds. Slow your breath again. Let the present dissolve. And drift deeper into the glow of the medieval tavern. The fire crackles in the center of the room, its smoke curling upward, leaving a black scar upon the wooden beams above. Every beam is swollen with age, warped by seasons of frost and summer heat. The tavern smells of sweat, smoke, old ale, and damp wool, and yet, within this scent, there is comfort, because it is the smell of company, of warmth, of survival in a harsh world where loneliness can be colder than winter. Sit now at the long bench. Your hands rest on rough-hewn wood scarred by years of knives, mugs, and restless fingers. The table is sticky with spills of mead and wine, and the stains of last night's brawl still show like bruises upon its surface. Around you, the tavern swells with life. On your left, a soldier, his boots muddied, his sword nicked from skirmishes you will never know, leans close to a woman wrapped in a faded shawl. They speak softly, heads tilted together, voices lost in the noise, but their eyes tell stories of longing and fear. Perhaps she is his wife, waiting for him to come home alive. Perhaps she is a stranger, offering company in exchange for a coin or a kindness. The truth is swallowed by the tavern shadows. On your right, a group of farmers laugh with cracked voices. Their laughter is coarse, yet full of relief. Their fields may have failed, their backs may ache, but tonight they can forget. They roll dice upon the wood, gamble away a week's worth of earnings, and curse their luck with joy, because here, losing is better than feeling the weight of hunger outside. At the far corner, a bard plucks a lute. The strings are thin, the melody uneven, but the song carries. He sings of battles long past, of knights who rode into fire, of maidens who wept at windowsills. His words are both history and dream, memory and invention. Some listen in silence, their eyes glassy with drink and memory. Others laugh, call him a liar, and throw bones at his feet, yet still they listen. For the tavern is hungry for stories. It thrives on tales the way the body thrives on bread. And listen now, beyond the surface noise. Beneath the laughter, beneath the crash of mugs, beneath the shouts of men already too drunk to stand, there is a hum. It is the heartbeat of the tavern. The murmur of secrets traded in low voices. The whisper of deals made in shadow. The careful plotting of rebels and lovers, thieves and priests. The tavern is no simple drinking hall. It is a parliament without walls. It is a church without scripture. It is a marketplace of souls, where words are currency, and every eye searches for advantage, for survival, for connection. The tavern keeper knows this best. He is the true king of this wooden kingdom. His eyes are sharp, missing nothing. A spilled drink, a raised hand, a whispered deal, he marks them all. His authority is silent but iron. One word from him, and the brawl ends. One nod, and a drunkard is carried out into the mud. He is judge, jury, and guardian of this fragile chaos, and though he wears no crown, his power is respected more than that of many lords. Because here, within these smoky walls, it is his hand that feeds, his cask that pours, his shelter that protects. Now imagine the sounds. A dog growls under the table, gnawing a bone. A mug slams against wood, froth spilling over the rim. The lute bends beneath a clumsy chord, followed by a cheer. Somewhere, a woman laughs, her voice high, carrying above the roar. It is a laugh not just of mirth, but of survival. For laughter, in the tavern, is a weapon against despair. Every sound overlaps, blurs, becoming part of the great river of noise that is life itself. Yet not all is joy. Watch closely. In the shadows, two men argue. Their voices are hushed, their hands restless upon the table. A debt unpaid. A betrayal remembered. Steel glints beneath a cloak, hidden, waiting. The tavern holds danger as well as refuge. It is a stage where loyalty and treachery dance side by side. And still, above all, there is warmth. For in the medieval world, where the night is dark and the cold is merciless, the tavern is a sanctuary. A man may sleep in a ditch tomorrow. A woman may walk miles through snow to find firewood. But tonight here, in this smoky, crowded room, they are not alone. They are surrounded by laughter, by song, by the presence of others who share the same fragile, fleeting existence. And that is why they return, night after night, season after season. The tavern is not just walls and ale. It is the beating heart of a world where life is hard and tomorrow is uncertain. Breathe slowly now. Hear the fire. Hear the voices. Let them lull you. Let them carry you deeper into sleep. For you are not a stranger here. You are part of the gathering. You are seated at the long table, your cup full, your heart quietly beating in rhythm with the tavern's pulse. And as the night deepens, and the stars outside fade behind clouds, you remain, wrapped in the endless story of the medieval tavern. Breathe again. Let your chest rise, let it fall. The tavern's walls surround you still, and the fire burns low, its embers glowing like hidden jewels beneath a cloak of ash. Outside, the night deepens, heavy with frost, but within these walls, the warmth lingers. It is not a gentle warmth, it is thick, suffocating, a mix of smoke and sweat and old wool, but it keeps the cold away. And in the Middle Ages, warmth was life itself. Look across the room. The fire throws shadows across the beams, and the shadows move like spirits. Every face becomes half lit, half hidden. A man's laughter looks cheerful in the glow, but when the flame dims, his smile seems like a grimace, haunted by worry. A woman's eyes shine brightly in the light, then vanish into darkness, unreadable, mysterious. The tavern is always shifting, always changing. It is a room alive with firelight and shadow, with the endless play of brightness and concealment. At one table, two travelers sit hunched close together. Their cloaks are damp with rain, their boots caked with mud from long roads. One tells a story, his voice low but urgent. He speaks of bandits in the forest, of roads so lonely even birds did not dare sing. His companion listens, eyes darting to the door, as if the shadows outside might still follow them in. The tavern is their refuge, their one fragile safety, a circle of light in a dark and dangerous land. At another bench, 3 monks sit quietly, their robes dark with age, their belts simple rope. Their cups are filled not with ale but with watered wine, and they speak in whispers about the harvest, about the souls of men, about the sins they see in every corner of life. But even monks are human, and now and then, one lets slip a quiet laugh, a word less holy, a glance too warm at the serving woman who passes by. The tavern pulls everyone into its web. It softens the strict, loosens the rigid, draws the cloistered mind back into the current of human company. Listen now to the serving woman's steps. Her shoes scuff against the rushes strewn on the floor, old straw meant to soak the spills, to mask the stench. Her arms are weary, her dress patched and fraying, but her movements are steady. She carries mugs brimming with ale, a tray of bread gone stale, a pot of stew thick with barley and bone. She does not linger at any table, yet she hears more than most. A half-whispered plan of smuggling goods across the river. A careless promise of love made by a drunkard who will forget by dawn. A threat hissed between clenched teeth. She gathers these fragments silently, not to betray, not to judge, but because to live in the tavern is to live among stories. And stories are the one treasure even the poorest may collect. In the farthest corner, a dice game grows louder. Men shout, coins clatter. The dice roll across the table like tiny bones of fate, and each fall is a moment of triumph or despair. One man laughs too hard, his voice cracking. Another slams his fist upon the wood until the mugs rattle. Soon a quarrel begins, harsh words turning sharp, sharp words turning into hands grasping, shoving. The tavern swells with tension. But before steel is drawn, the tavern keeper strides over, his presence heavier than any weapon. His voice cuts through the noise. The gamblers lower their heads, muttering curses into their mugs, the quarrel dissolved. The order of the tavern is restored, not by law, not by lordship, but by the keeper's will. And so the night goes on. A bard strikes up another tune, softer now, almost a lullaby. The strings hum, the notes climb, then fall like breath itself. The song is old, older than memory, a tune carried by generations, reshaped by every voice that sang it before. It speaks of longing, of journeys unfinished, of home far away. And though no one admits it, though laughter still bursts across the room, each listener feels the ache of the song deep in their chest. For all who gather here are wanderers of a kind, searching for warmth, for belonging, for something that holds against the darkness. Look closer at the fire now. The embers glow deep red, pulsing, as if the tavern itself has a heartbeat. The flames twist and curl, shadows dance higher along the beams, and in their dance, shapes appear. A knight on horseback. A woman with a veil. A field of wheat bending in the wind. Stories live in the fire, just as they live in the voices that fill the air. The tavern is not just a place, it is a mirror, showing the world as it is, as it was, as it might be. And you are here, within it, not as a stranger, but as one of them. You sip the bitter ale, taste the rough bread, feel the warmth upon your face. You listen to the laughter, the songs, the quarrels, the sighs. And slowly, gently, you drift deeper into the rhythm of the night. The tavern becomes a dream, a soft blur of sound and light. The voices rise, then fall. The fire hums like a lullaby. Your eyes grow heavy, and the night embraces you, as it has embraced countless souls before. Breathe. You are safe for now. Safe in the shadows by the firelight. Breathe slowly, hold the air for a moment, and let it leave you, as if the breath itself were carrying away the weight of the day. You are still in the tavern, but now the night has thickened, and the room is deeper, heavier, fuller. The fire burns low, its wood collapsing inward, each crackle like a sigh. The smell has changed. The sharpness of smoke lingers, but it mingles now with food. With boiled barley, thick as porridge, with pork bones simmered until the marrow softens, with onions roasted black at the edges, and bread, coarse, dark, torn with calloused hands and dipped into bowls. You sit at the long table, and you notice how simple the feast is. No golden plates. No spices from faraway lands. Only what the earth yields and what the hand can gather. Yet, in the hunger of the Middle Ages, this food is wealth itself. Men eat with the speed of wolves, their jaws clenching, bread pressed into stew, meat stripped to the bone. Women, weary from markets and children, chew slowly, their shoulders bent but their eyes alive, savoring the rare moment of being served rather than serving. Children lick their fingers, wipe their mouths with sleeves, smile through the filth of the day. And always the mugs. Filled, emptied, filled again. A bitter ale that burns the throat, but softens the mind. The tavern hums with voices, and yet within the hum each sound has its place. The crack of laughter. The scrape of a stool. The mutter of a prayer whispered by a man afraid of his own joy. The sharp clink of a coin dropped upon the wood. The shudder of dice rattling in a cup. The room is alive, a forest of noise, every trunk and branch carrying its own rustle, its own story. Look around you now. There, by the fire, an old man sits alone. His beard is yellowed with age, his eyes clouded with memory. He does not speak, but from time to time he lifts his cup, sips, and sets it down again, as though the rhythm of drinking is the rhythm that keeps him tethered to this world. No one asks his story, but you can feel it radiate from him. Wars fought long ago. Loves buried in the earth. Friends gone to plague and famine. And yet he endures. The tavern is his refuge, as it is for all. Now listen again to the bard. His song has shifted. It is no longer the clamor of knights and battles, but softer, slower, almost like a cradle song. He sings of the sea. Of waves that stretch forever, of ships that vanish at the horizon, of families waiting by the shore. The words are simple, but they weave a spell. Eyes close. Heads lean upon hands. The tavern, once riotous, begins to sway like a body half asleep. But not all rest. In the corner, two figures still whisper. They lean close, their faces hidden by the hood of their cloaks. One draws a shape upon the table with his finger. A map, perhaps, or a warning. The other nods, his jaw tight, his hand resting upon the hilt of a dagger. The tavern is not only laughter. It is also the womb of schemes, the birthplace of danger. Here, kingdoms may fall in whispers, debts may be sealed in shadows, and a single glance may decide the fate of years. Now notice the serving girl again. Her arms tremble with the weight of the jug, her steps uneven, but her presence is constant. She moves from table to table like a silent spirit, pouring, collecting, vanishing. She carries no crown, no sword, no parchment of authority. And yet she holds more knowledge of this town, of its men, its women, its hunger, its sins, than the Lord in his stone hall. She knows who owes what coin, who seeks whose bed, who fears whose wrath. But she keeps it all within, locked tight, like the secrets of the earth. And still, the tavern beats on. The floor creaks beneath the weight of boots. The smoke thickens until your eyes sting. The warmth presses against your skin, wrapping you, smothering you, rocking you like a blanket. You feel your body sink deeper into the bench, your head heavy, your breath slower. You begin to drift, and the tavern itself begins to change. The voices no longer separate. They blur into one long murmur, like a river under ice. The fire's crackle stretches, becomes the drumbeat of sleep. The dice roll again, but you hear them as distant thunder. A laugh erupts, but it fades as if carried away by the wind. You are still in the tavern, but also beyond it. The world softens, becomes dreamlike, becomes timeless. And this is the secret of the tavern. It was never only a place of drink. It was a place where the weary soul could rest, where the hungry could forget their hunger, where the lonely could feel, if only for a moment, that they were part of something larger. A community of shadows and laughter, of schemes and songs, of firelight and silence. It was the heart of the medieval world, not carved in stone, but lived in breath. So close your eyes now. You are still at the table. The cup is before you. The fire glows red upon the wall. The night presses outside, cold, vast, endless. But here, inside, you are warm. You are surrounded. You are part of the hum, the story, the endless lull of voices. Breathe. Let the tavern's heartbeat become your own. And as your eyelids grow heavy, as the fire sinks into embers, as the voices blur into silence, know that you are safe, cradled in the feast of shadows and silence. Breathe. Let the cool air of imagination fill your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing the weight of today. You are still inside the medieval tavern. The fire has waned to a gentle glow, casting long shadows across the walls, twisting, folding, becoming shapes that seem alive, moving quietly in the corners. Tonight, the tavern is different. There is a subtle tension in the air, like the pause before a storm, or the moment when a wolf listens in the darkness. Look toward the far corner. Two men sit close together, faces hidden beneath hoods. Their voices are low, almost imperceptible, but the words carry weight. A map is spread before them, inked lines faint in candlelight. They trace routes with worn fingers, murmuring names that could mean fortune or death. Every glance over the shoulder, every tap of a dagger against the table, speaks of secrets that must not leave this room. And yet, the tavern is full of eyes, even when most are closed in the haze of ale. The keeper watches from the bar, his presence a quiet, firm authority. Nothing escapes him, and yet he does not interfere, not yet. He waits, patient as stone, for the night to reveal itself. A few tables away, a young woman leans forward, laughing softly with a bard. Her voice is a silver thread through the smoke. Her hands drum lightly on the edge of the table, as if keeping time with the song, as if drawing the story from the bard's lute into her own heart. She is the daughter of a farmer, her days long and weary. But tonight, she exists only in the warmth of firelight, in the rhythm of music, in the communion of strangers who are, for this moment, family. And yet, there is danger here, always in the margins. A pair of travelers, newly arrived, speak in hurried whispers, their eyes darting toward every doorway, every shadow. Perhaps they carry news of distant wars. Perhaps they are fleeing debts. Perhaps both. They do not linger, but their presence adds a layer of tension, an invisible thread that makes every laugh and every shout a little sharper, a little more fragile. The fire flickers again, and the shadows move. They stretch toward the ceiling, then collapse to the floor, as if the room itself breathes, inhaling and exhaling the stories contained within. Listen closely. You can hear the scrape of a chair as a man rises too quickly, the clatter of a mug dropped and forgotten, the soft whisper of a cloak brushing against the rushes on the floor. Every sound is amplified in the quiet corners of the night, every movement a note in the symphony of the tavern. Now, imagine the old man at the end of the table. He clears his throat slowly, the motion deliberate. All eyes are drawn to him, though most pretend not to watch. He begins to speak in a voice low, steady, telling a story not just of battles, but of love lost and found, of rivers crossed, of hunger endured. The words are long, winding, curling around each listener like smoke. And though some lean forward eagerly, some drift into sleep, his story persists. It flows through the tavern like the river outside the town, unseen but always present, carrying memory, carrying warning, carrying comfort. The bard listens, too, fingers pausing on the lute, allowing the old man's tale to merge with his music, turning melody and memory into a single, undulating wave. The young woman smiles faintly, eyes half closed, absorbing every note, every syllable, as though her own story will be written by these moments, soft and unhurried, within the walls of this warm, chaotic sanctuary. The two hooded men shift, a silent signal passed between them. Perhaps a plan is finalized, perhaps a decision made. The tavern's hum continues, indifferent to the shadows that creep in its corners. But you feel the subtle tension in your own chest? A reminder that life, even here, is never fully safe, never fully predictable. And still, the fire burns. The laughter rises and falls. The ale is poured and drained. The music threads through every pause, every whisper, every hidden glance. And you sit quietly, breathing, listening, absorbing the texture of this medieval night. Your own heartbeat slows to match the rhythm of the room. The world outside no longer matters. The chill of winter, the cruelty of hunger, the dangers of the road, all are softened by the warmth, the story, the presence of others. Breathe. Let yourself drift on the currents of tale and song. The tavern has become a cocoon, a sanctuary where shadow and light, danger and comfort mingle and balance. The old man's story flows into your mind. The bard's song wraps around your spirit. The laughter and whispers ebb and flow like a gentle tide. And now, as your eyes grow heavier, as your limbs relax, as the fire sinks into quiet embers, you feel yourself leaving the tavern and remaining within it, moving between shadow and warmth, between story and silence. Here, in this room of whispered secrets and soft laughter, you are both awake and asleep, both visitor and participant, carried gently into the night by the heartbeat of the medieval world. Breathe one last time, and allow the tavern to fold around you, cradling you in shadow, in warmth, in story, until the world beyond fades completely, and only the hum of history remains, soft and endless, leading you deeper into sleep. Breathe slowly. Feel your chest rise. You are still inside the medieval tavern. The fire in the hearth burns low, its glow casting long, quivering shadows along the timbered walls. Outside, the cold presses against the windows, heavy and unyielding, but within, warmth and tension swirl together. The tavern is alive, and tonight, life pulses with an almost dangerous energy. Listen carefully. A mug slams upon the table. A man curses under his breath. Laughter turns sharp, like a blade scraping stone. The ale has loosened tongues, loosened tempers. Voices rise, overlapping, growing louder with every passing heartbeat. A slight shove, a stolen glance, a word misheard. The air thickens. The tavern feels smaller, the walls closer, the ceiling pressing down. And in this suffocating warmth, the human spirit begins to strain. At one corner table, two men argue. The first, a farmer, red-faced from drink, slams his hand upon the rough wood. "The coin is mine," he shouts, voice cracking. The second, a smith, broad-shouldered and furious, leans forward, eyes burning. "You cheated," he roars. Their voices echo across the room, reverberating in the rafters. Patrons pause, mugs frozen midair. The bard falters on a chord, the music trembling. Even the fire seems to shiver, sparks leaping into the air. And then it begins. A fist swings. A chair topples. Shouts multiply. Men and women leap to intervene or to escape. The tavern becomes a storm contained within four walls, where each footstep, each crash, each cry is part of a chaotic rhythm. Feel the floor beneath your feet. The wooden boards groan under weight, trembling with every impact. Rushes scatter as boots skid across them. Ale spills, sticky and dark, pooling like shadows upon the floor. The scent of smoke mingles with sweat, fear, and the tang of iron from a blade that catches the light for a brief, fleeting moment. The tavern keeper moves with precision. He does not panic. His presence is calm, a steady center amid the storm. He steps between men, hands firm, voice low but commanding. "Enough," he says. The pause. The rhythm slows. For a moment, balance returns, fragile and trembling. But the storm has not passed. It simmers beneath the surface, ready to erupt again with the next misstep, the next glance, the next insult. Observe the patrons who are not involved. A young woman clutches her shawl, heart hammering, watching the chaos. Her eyes glint with the reflection of fire and fury. A child hides beneath a table, peeking at the world in wonder and fear. The bard resumes, softly, a single note drawn from the lute like a lifeline, threading through the noise, pulling some small measure of order from the chaos. And now the smell of the tavern is richer than ever. Smoke, sweat, spilled ale, scorched bread, and the coppery tang of iron fill the air. It is overwhelming. It is intoxicating. It is life, raw and unfiltered. You feel it in your chest, in your lungs, in your hair. It clings to you like a second skin. And yet, you are safe. You are merely a witness, carried on the tide of history, absorbing the rhythm, the color, the heat of it all. The fight ebbs slowly. Shouts fade into mutters. Heavy breaths replace screams. Hands unclench. Chairs are lifted back to tables. The tavern keeper nods, satisfied. Order is restored, but only in appearance. The night is far from over, and in the corners, whispers linger. Stories of courage, of cowardice, of betrayal and loyalty begin to weave themselves into the tavern's eternal memory. And now listen closely. The fire crackles, the shadows stretch once more. The bard's song rises, soft and melodic, threading through the silence like smoke. The old man at the far table resumes his tale, voice gentle now, curling around ears and hearts. The young woman smiles faintly, eyes closing, letting herself drift. You too feel the pull, the lull, the gentle tug toward sleep. For the tavern is more than chaos and fury. It is warmth, it is story, it is shadow, it is life. It is a heartbeat in the dark. And as the embers glow and the echoes fade, you are wrapped in the lingering rhythm of the night, carried slowly, softly, into the quiet spaces where dreams begin. Breathe. Feel your body sink. Let the firelight and fury become part of the lullaby. And now, breathe in and out. You are still inside the medieval tavern. The fire has softened into glowing embers, casting a gentle red light that stretches across the wooden beams, painting everything in hues of calm, of warmth, of quiet. The brawl has passed. The shouts, the crashing chairs, the spilled ale, all have retreated into memory. The tavern exhales, and in its breath, a new rhythm is born. The slow murmur of voices, the gentle scraping of stools as patrons shift, the soft clinking of mugs as they are lifted and replaced. The bard begins again, not with the loud, commanding tune of earlier, but a soft melody that drifts through the air like smoke. The strings hum low, curling around the room, brushing the corners where shadows linger. Each note is a whisper, each chord a heartbeat. And you feel it in your chest, in your mind, in the quiet of your limbs. The old man's voice rises once more. He speaks slowly, deliberately, his story weaving through the smoke and firelight, through the warmth and shadows, through the rhythm of the bard's soft music. He tells of rivers that twist through mountains, of lonely roads where the wind whispers secrets, of the hearts of men and women, fragile, brave, longing. He tells it not as a warning, nor as a sermon, but as a soft reminder that life flows, that every night holds both fury and peace, and that every human soul carries a story. The young woman leans against the bench, eyes half closed, lips curling faintly in a smile, listening to song and tale together, letting the warmth seep into her bones. A child hides nearby, fingers laced together, breathing softly, mesmerized by the intertwining voices, by the glow of embers, by the echo of long-forgotten roads. The tavern keeper walks slowly along the tables. His steps are careful, measured, softly reminding all that this is still a place of shelter, even after chaos. He nods to the bard, to the old man, to the patrons, and the room shifts subtly, a collective sigh, as if the walls themselves are settling into the lull of the night. Outside, the wind presses against the walls. It carries whispers of snow or rain, of forests and distant fields. But inside, all is warm. All is safe for now. The scent of ale, of stew, of wood smoke, blends with the warmth of bodies and laughter past, creating a cocoon, a quiet world apart from the cold outside. Listen closely. You can hear the faint rhythm of breathing. A knight slouched against the wall, chest rising slowly. A woman at the table, eyes closed, dreaming. The child under the table, fingers still clutching a token of play. Even the bard's fingers pause occasionally, letting the silence hang between notes, soft and alive, like a heartbeat in the dark. Time moves slowly here. Minutes stretch and yawn. The tavern is both a place and a story, a single breathing being, with warmth in its bones, music in its soul, and history in its walls. And you sit quietly breathing with it, letting the ebb and flow of voices, the gentle murmur of song, the old man's story curling around your mind, carry you gently toward sleep. Every tension of the day melts into this warmth, every shadow softens into memory, every heartbeat slows in the gentle pulse of the room. Breathe. Feel the glow of embers against your face, the smell of the tavern deep in your mind, the soft cadence of stories and song washing over you. And as your eyelids grow heavy, as the night enfolds everything in quiet, you drift slowly, softly, into the lull of the tavern, into the embrace of warmth and shadow, into sleep. Breathe. Let the echoes of the tavern fade slowly from your mind. Feel the warmth of fire and shadow dissolve, leaving a soft space of quiet. And now, imagine a land far away, under a sun that rises like molten gold, stretching across deserts so vast they seem endless, casting long, stretching shadows across stone and sand. You are in Egypt. Not the Egypt of today, but of thousands of years ago, when the Nile flowed like a silver ribbon, and the land hummed with the voices of gods and kings. The air is dry, rich with the scent of river mud and incense, of baked clay and crushed papyrus. And among all this, a figure moves, graceful, commanding, yet mysterious. She is Nefertiti. Her name means, the beautiful one has come. And beauty is not just in her face, though her features are sculpted like the finest limestone. High cheekbones, almond eyes, lips full and quiet, but in her presence, in her bearing, in the calm authority she radiates. She walks through the palace corridors, each step measured, deliberate, echoing softly across polished stone. Servants bow, priests murmur prayers, scribes pause in their work. Yet she does not demand. She merely exists, and the world bends to her poise. The palace itself is alive with sound. Soft sandals scrape against marble floors. Curtains sway in the warm breeze from the Nile. Chimes tinkle as doors open and close. The scent of oils and perfumes drifts gently, subtle and intoxicating. The sun paints gold upon her skin, light and shadow dancing across her face as she moves. Look closer. She is more than queen, more than consort. She is co-ruler, advisor, orchestrator of religious change. She stands beside Pharaoh Akhenaten, both hands shaping the revolution that elevates Aten, the sun god, above the pantheon of old gods. The priests murmur, the scribes record, but history itself seems to pause when she steps into the courtyard. She is authority and enigma, power and mystery, and yet, human. Hear the voices of the courtiers. They speak softly, cautiously, of reforms that unsettle tradition, of rituals rewritten, temples redesigned, of a kingdom both dazzled and uncertain. And in the midst of this, Nefertiti's eyes remain calm, observing, measuring, guiding. Her influence is subtle but profound, like the gentle flow of the Nile that carves the land, quietly reshaping all in its path. Notice the artisans in the halls. They sculpt, they paint, they craft, immortalizing her image in limestone, in fresco, in precious stones. Her face appears again and again, serene, symmetrical, eternal. Yet even in this immortality, there is mystery. She vanishes from records as suddenly as she appeared, leaving questions that echo through millennia. Did she become pharaoh? Did she step aside willingly? Or was she erased, deliberately, from the story of her own people? The palace garden unfolds before you. Lotus blooms drift on tranquil ponds. Palm trees sway lightly, their fronds whispering in the warm breeze. Birds rise and fall in arcs of brilliant color. And there, walking among the flowers, Nefertiti contemplates the world. Its beauty, its danger, its fragility. She is a woman in a realm of men. A voice that cannot be ignored, a presence that cannot be erased. And now, the sun climbs higher. Its rays fall across the golden sands, across the smooth stones of the temples. It warms the skin, brightens the eyes, highlights the curves of the river. The world of Egypt stretches before you, endless, luminous, alive. And in this brilliance, Nefertiti moves. A queen, a mystery, a story whispered across centuries. Breathe. Let the warmth of this sun, the calm of this palace, the quiet authority of Nefertiti fill your mind. The tavern, the fire, the shadows, they are behind you. Now there is only light, and the slow, steady rhythm of a kingdom shaped by human hands, human hearts, and human ambition. Close your eyes. Feel the Nile's gentle pull, the desert's quiet strength, the palace's echoing calm, and drift, softly, slowly, into the world of a queen, into the dawn of Egypt, into sleep. Breathe. Feel the warmth of the sun on your skin, the soft embrace of morning light spilling across the palace walls. The tavern, the shadows, the fire, those are behind you now. You are here, in the quiet majesty of ancient Egypt, walking beside a queen whose presence is as commanding as it is gentle. Nefertiti moves through the corridors of the palace with a rhythm all her own. Every step is measured, deliberate, yet effortless. Her attendants fall into quiet harmony around her, moving like water around a stone. The scent of oils and perfumes drifts lazily through the air, mingling with the warm morning breeze from the Nile. Her hands brush against polished stone as she walks, feeling the pulse of the palace beneath her fingertips, the hum of life within these walls. The priests are gathered in the temple of Aten. Their robes whisper against stone floors as they bow, chant, and offer prayers. Nefertiti stands beside Akhenaten, co-ruler and co-creator of this new vision. She lifts her hand, delicate and certain, guiding rituals that honor the sun god, Aten, above all others. It is not merely ceremony, it is a declaration, a reshaping of the world, a challenge to tradition. The old gods, carved in deep shadow and stone, are set aside, and in their place rises the brilliance of the sun, warming the faces of all who witness. She moves from chamber to chamber, observing scribes as they record decrees, artisans as they craft the sacred images, children as they practice songs for the festivals yet to come. Her eyes, sharp and knowing, catch the details others might miss. A line drawn wrong in ink, a foot out of place in dance, a flicker of doubt in a servant's gaze. She corrects gently, with a whisper, a touch, a nod. Authority is woven into every motion, but it is not loud, not brash. It is quiet, golden, like sunlight spilling across sand. In the gardens, lotus blooms drift upon serene ponds. Birds rise in sudden arcs, their wings catching the sunlight. Nefertiti walks slowly, bare feet brushing the soft stone paths, listening to the gentle ripple of water. She pauses to watch the reflection of the palace in the pond, seeing herself mirrored in calm and in shadow, in power and in mystery. The world is vast, yet contained within these walls, within this palace, within her vision, it is hers to shape. Whispers float through the air, political rivals, loyalists, foreign envoys. All watch her, all measure her, all speculate. And she knows. She knows the weight of expectation, the sharp edge of envy, the delicate dance of influence. She navigates it with a patience that is almost eternal, like the river Nile itself, which flows steadily, shaping earth and life without haste. Artisans carve her likeness into limestone, paint her image on the walls of temples, craft golden adornments to honor her presence. Every depiction is precise, deliberate, immortal. Her face, serene and symmetrical, radiates a power that words cannot fully capture. Yet there is mystery. Her disappearance from history, a sudden vanishing from records, leaves an echo that lingers. Was she erased? Did she ascend further? Or did she choose her own path beyond the eyes of men? The question hangs like incense smoke, lingering in the air, impossible to fully grasp. As evening descends, the palace shifts. Candles flicker, shadows lengthen, walls absorb the warmth of the day. Nefertiti walks the corridors once more, pausing to touch the shoulders of those she trusts, to smile at a child, to nod to a servant whose loyalty is steadfast. Her influence is everywhere and nowhere, a soft but unyielding current. She is queen, co-ruler, visionary, mother of the sun's worship, and still, somehow, a woman quietly human beneath it all. And now, listen to the palace itself. Hear the soft rustle of robes, the creak of wooden floors, the distant murmur of chants fading into night. Feel the pulse of Egypt, ancient and eternal, through the walls, the stones, the air. Breathe. Let yourself absorb the rhythm, the calm, the quiet authority that flows like sunlight through every corridor. Close your eyes. You are walking beside Nefertiti. You feel her patience, her power, her mystery. The golden light of the sun lingers on your skin. The gardens, the temples, the whispers of servants, priests, and children, they merge into a single hum of life. And slowly, softly, you drift, carried on the warmth of history, the echo of a queen, the quiet pulse of an ancient world. Into sleep. Breathe. Let the soft light of the Egyptian sun fade gently from your mind. The palace corridors, the gardens, the river Nile, all remain in memory. Yet now you feel a subtle shift, as though the air itself holds a secret, a quiet, invisible tension threading through time. Nefertiti walks alone. The murmurs of the palace fade behind her, replaced by a profound silence. She moves with grace, yet her steps carry the weight of unseen currents, political whispers, shadowed glances, veiled intentions. Every hallway, every archway, seems to hum with possibility, and danger lingers like a pale shimmer on the sunlit walls. The co-rulership with Akhenaten is not unchallenged. There are those who resist the reforms, those who long for the gods of old, their rituals, their temples, their familiar power. Priests murmur in secret, scribes whisper in the dark. And even the stone statues seem to watch her as though judging, as though questioning the right of a woman to stand in the sun and shape the kingdom. Yet she moves with certainty, deliberate, controlled. Her eyes are calm, yet they record everything. Who bows too slowly, who lingers too long, who watches with suspicion. In her quiet, she observes, she calculates, she guides. A river shaping the stones along its banks with patient, unyielding force. And then one day, she is gone. Her chambers are empty. The palace echoes with a hushed void, a whisper of absence that stretches across every wall. Some say she ascended further, cloaked in the authority of a pharaoh's crown. Some whisper that she was erased, her name struck from records, her image quietly hidden. And yet, her likeness remains, carved in stone, painted on plaster, immortalized in gold and limestone. A ghost of power that refuses to fade entirely. Feel the palace in her absence. The corridors are quieter now, but charged with memory. Every servant remembers her steps, every priest recalls her voice in ritual, every child who played in the gardens recalls her gentle glance. The sun still rises over the Nile, yet it touches the world differently. For Nefertiti's shadow lingers, unseen but profoundly present. A reminder that power, even when unseen, leaves echoes that stretch across centuries. The mystery of her disappearance grows like the desert sands, shifting, elusive, impossible to fully grasp. Some claim she ruled as a hidden pharaoh, a silent architect of destiny. Others say she vanished, choosing freedom beyond the gaze of men and history alike. And you, the observer, feel the pull of that absence, the hum of unanswered questions threading through the warm air. It is a gentle, persistent echo, carrying you slowly into reflection, into wonder, into the soft embrace of imagination. And now, the world of Egypt, of Nefertiti, of mystery, folds gently around you. The gardens shimmer in memory, the Nile ripples quietly, the palace walls stand timeless and silent. You breathe, slow and steady, absorbing the echoes of power, beauty, and enigma. Her legacy persists not only in stone or paint, but in the feeling of history itself. A quiet, golden presence, guiding thought and imagination. Pulling you gently into the quiet spaces where dreams begin. Breathe. Let yourself drift with the currents of time, the shadows of eternity, the gentle rhythm of a world shaped by one extraordinary woman. The sun sets slowly, the light softens, the stars begin to whisper in the sky above. And as the world fades to calm, into the endless embrace of sleep, breathe. Feel the warmth of the Egyptian sun fade slowly from your mind. The whispers of the palace, the shadows of a vanished queen, all are behind you now. And now, your journey takes you east, across mountains and rivers, to a land of clouds and terraces, of mist and water, of patience carved into stone. You are in the mountains of southern China. The Longji rice terraces stretch before you, like the spine of a great dragon sleeping across the landscape. The morning mist hovers above the paddies, soft and silver, curling around the hillsides, hiding them, then revealing them, as if the mountains themselves breathe slowly, gently, in rhythm with the world. See the terraces, carved by hands over centuries, layer upon layer, like pages of an ancient book. Each step a story, each pool of water a mirror of sky and cloud. The people, the Zhuang and Yao communities, walk these paths carefully, their movements deliberate, their touch respectful, guiding water through channels, planting rice in patterns that echo the curves of the land itself. Listen. The water flows softly from one terrace to another, trickling, splashing, singing in its gentle way. A bird rises from a distant grove, wings cutting through mist, and far below, the valley exhales, green and fertile, alive. The terraces glimmer like emerald ribbons, reflecting dawn light, and each reflection carries centuries of human care, human wisdom, human life. Walk slowly along the narrow paths. Feel the cool mud underfoot, the scent of wet earth and growing rice. Notice the rhythm of labor, hands planting seedlings, tending water, checking the channels. The work is steady, quiet, meditative. It is not rushed, for the mountains demand patience. And in patience, there is life, sustainability, and harmony. The terraces are more than agriculture, they are art. Every curve, every layer, every pool is intentional, a dialogue between humans and the landscape. The mist curls, the mountains breathe, the water moves, and all is in balance, maintained by knowledge passed from one generation to the next. You feel it in your bones, in your lungs, in the slow, steady pulse of the hills. A reminder that life is both fragile and enduring, that humans are part of nature, not masters over it. Notice the families along the terraces. Children laugh, running between paddies, feet splashing in shallow water. Elders bend slowly, hands tracing the contours of the land, their eyes calm, steady, full of memory and care. And in every gesture, every movement, every smile, you sense the continuity of tradition, the deep roots of culture entwined with the soil itself. The sun rises higher now. Its light warms the terraces, igniting a golden shimmer across the water. The air is filled with the gentle hum of life, insects, birds, water flowing, wind through bamboo. All is quiet, yet vibrant. All is alive, yet serene. Breathe. Feel the slow rhythm of the terraces, the pulse of the mountains, the quiet devotion of hands and hearts that shape this land. Let the gentle sound of water, the shimmer of mist, the soft movements of labor, carry you slowly, softly, into a world of calm, into a place where centuries of human patience meet the eternal mountains. Into sleep. Breathe. Feel the soft mist curling around the mountains, the terraces stretching endlessly like a dragon's gentle spine. You are here, among the green steppes of water and earth, where every ripple, every seed, every hand moves in harmony with the land. The day begins slowly. A mother guides her child along the narrow paths, careful not to slip in the shallow water pooled in each terrace. Their feet splash softly, a quiet percussion in the vast, living orchestra of the hills. The child laughs, a pure, ringing sound, while the mother's eyes are steady, attentive, full of memory and knowledge passed down over generations. Farmers bend, hands deep in mud, planting seedlings one by one. Each seedling is placed with care, in alignment with the curve of the terrace, following patterns that have guided the Zhuang and Yao peoples for centuries. Water trickles gently along stone channels, flowing from higher terraces to lower, nourishing each layer, moving as if it has a mind of its own, carrying the rhythm of life from top to bottom. Listen closely. There is a quiet music here, subtle yet profound. the soft splash of water, the murmur of conversation, the distant cry of a bird, the rustle of bamboo in the wind. All these sounds blend, a gentle symphony, a lullaby of human effort entwined with the natural world. See the elders moving slowly, hands tracing the terrace's edges, checking water levels, ensuring every channel flows freely. They speak softly, words rich with knowledge and care, passing instructions to younger hands, correcting gently, guiding patiently. This is not work hurried or forced. It is a rhythm, a meditation, a dialogue with the earth itself. The terraces themselves seem alive. Water reflects the sky in tiny mirrors. Clouds drift overhead and dissolve into the mountain's folds. Green stalks sway in a breeze so gentle it barely touches the skin, yet in its softness lies a pulse, steady and enduring, echoing the heartbeat of generations who shaped this land with patience, devotion, and love. Families move together, sharing meals at small resting points, smiles exchanged, laughter drifting like incense through the air. Even as the work is hard, there is joy in rhythm, in cooperation, in the knowledge that life flows from the hands that care for it. Each terrace holds stories, of planting, of harvest, of rituals marking the seasons, of births, of celebrations, of quiet reflections at sunset. As the sun climbs higher, golden light touches every pool, every blade of rice, turning water into molten gold, green into emerald fire. The terraces breathe in light and warmth, exhaling a calm so profound that even the most restless mind can feel it, can settle into it, can merge with it. Breathe. Let the pulse of the terraces move through you. Feel the water, the soil, the rhythm of hands and hearts intertwined. Let the gentle music of life here, soft splashes, whispers, wind through bamboo, carry you slowly, softly toward a state of calm, toward sleep, toward dream, toward quiet reflection. And as you close your eyes, imagine the terraces stretching endlessly before you, layer upon layer of human care and natural beauty. A living artwork, a meditation in green and gold, inviting you to rest, to float, to drift, to sleep. Breathe. Feel the soft mist of the terraces wrap gently around your mind, the green layers stretching endlessly like a dragon's spine under the morning sun. Now, imagine the seasons unfolding slowly, deliberately, each one leaving its mark upon the terraces, upon the water, upon the lives of those who care for them. Spring arrives quietly. Water trickles from the melting snow of distant peaks, filling each terrace with a gentle shimmer. The first seedlings are planted, tiny green shoots that promise life. And the people walk among them, hands careful, movements deliberate, their voices soft, singing songs passed down through centuries. The terraces are alive with hope, with the pulse of beginnings. And the mountains seem to inhale the sound of laughter and whispered prayers. Summer follows with warmth and light. The sun climbs high, golden rays touching every blade of rice, turning pools of water into mirrors that reflect the sky itself. Farmers move rhythmically, tending the plants, guiding water, their labor synchronized with the wind, the clouds, the hum of life. Festivals occur as the community gathers. Songs rise, drums beat softly, incense curls into the air, honoring ancestors, the land, the river, the sun. The terraces are more than food, they are a sacred connection, a bridge between earth and spirit, between human hands and the pulse of time. Autumn drifts in slowly, a golden sigh across the mountains. The rice ripens, heavy with sustenance, the terraces shimmer in amber light. Harvest begins. Families work together, laughter mingling with the rustle of stalks, hands moving steadily, harvesting the fruit of patience and care. Even the wind seems to slow, gentle and warm, as if the mountains themselves celebrate the bounty of human effort and devotion. Winter arrives softly, like a quiet exhale. Mist thickens, water freezes along edges, and the terraces rest beneath a silver haze. The people pause, reflecting on the cycle completed, remembering stories of ancestors, recounting festivals, and sharing warmth in small hearths. Though the terraces lie still, life continues, preparation, planning, memory, prayer. And the mountains wait patiently for the first soft stirrings of spring. Notice how the land and the people move together. Every season has rhythm, every ritual has meaning. The terraces are not merely steps of earth, they are living memory, embodying centuries of care, of knowledge, of spiritual devotion. Children learn the songs of planting and harvest. Elders guide hands, teach patience, impart wisdom. And the water flows, constant, a thread binding past, present, and future. Breathe. Feel the pulse of the terraces, the quiet energy of the mountains. The timeless dance between human and nature, between labor and spirit. Let the songs of spring, the warmth of summer, the golden sigh of autumn, and the silver stillness of winter wash over you, carrying you slowly, softly, into calm, into reflection, into the gentle embrace of sleep. And as you close your eyes, imagine the terraces stretching endlessly before you, mirroring the cycles of life, of care, of patience, inviting you to rest, to float, to drift, to float into sleep. Breathe. Feel the terraces beneath your feet, the gentle slope of the mountains, the soft whisper of water flowing in channels carved by centuries of care. Here, every step is deliberate, every pool of water purposeful, and the rhythm of life unfolds like the layers of the terraces themselves. The people move with quiet precision. Hands guide water along stone channels, checking levels, adjusting flows. Each terrace receives exactly what it needs, no more, no less. A delicate balance maintained for generations, a dialogue between human and earth. You can feel it, the deep understanding of rhythm, of timing, of patience. Here, life flows with the land, not against it. See the terraces glimmer in sunlight, each step a mirror of the sky above. The water reflects clouds, the peaks, the movement of birds, and it reflects the hands of those who tend it, whose labor is both art and science, both necessity and devotion. Their knowledge is vast, quiet, unspoken yet profoundly felt, carried in memory, in movement, in the shared breath of the community. Hear the gentle hum of work, water trickling, hands moving, feet brushing mud, birds calling, wind through bamboo, the subtle heartbeat of the mountains. Every sound is part of the rhythm, every action part of the harmony, and every terrace a testament to human patience intertwined with natural beauty. Families work together, learning, teaching, laughing softly. Children follow elders along narrow paths, feeling the mud beneath their toes, hearing the water's gentle song. Understanding, without words, the delicate balance that sustains life. Elders guide with patience, their voices gentle but firm, their movements slow but precise, a dance perfected over centuries. The terraces are more than food, they are philosophy, they are meditation, they are art. Water flows, rice grows, seasons turn, and humans adapt. Always mindful, always connected, always in harmony. There is no rush here, no unnecessary strain, no discord. Only the careful, deliberate dance between life and land, between sky, stone, water, and human hands. Breathe. Feel the calm flow through. Let the terraces teach you patience, resilience, and balance. Let the rhythm of water, the harmony of land and life, carry you slowly, softly, into reflection, into a space of calm, into the gentle embrace of sleep. And as the sun sets over the terraces, turning water into molten gold, and shadows stretch across each step of the dragon's backbone, let yourself drift, weightless and quiet, immersed in the harmony of centuries, into sleep. Breathe. Feel the gentle mist curling through the terraces, the soft light of morning spilling over each step of the dragon's backbone. Here, life is patient, deliberate, and enduring, shaped not only by water and soil, but by memory, ritual, and care passed from hand to hand. See the elders teaching the children. Hands, worn by years of planting and harvest, guide small fingers to place seedlings in perfect alignment. Voices hum quietly, singing old songs, recounting tales of ancestors, of seasons past, of festivals that mark the turning of the year. Each word carries weight, each melody carries history. The terraces are classrooms, temples, and stages all at once, where every gesture is a thread in the tapestry of time. Feel the rhythm of life here. Morning brings planting, noon brings tending, evening brings reflection. Each action is deliberate, a meditation, a dialogue between human and earth. The water flows patiently through channels carved centuries ago. And in its quiet, it teaches the value of consistency, of observation, of care. Notice the festivals that light the terraces with color and joy. Lanterns drift across water, reflections dancing alongside stars. Families gather to honor ancestors, to celebrate the land, to thank the mountains, the rain, the sun, and each other. Drums beat softly, voices rise and fall in gentle harmony. And for a moment, past and present meet in a single, timeless rhythm. The terraces themselves are teachers. Each curve, each step, each reflective pool of water carries lessons in patience and harmony. They remind the people, and now you, that life is a cycle, that knowledge is passed not only through books, but through hands, through ritual, through quiet observation of the world around you. Generations watch, learn, and continue the work begun by ancestors, honoring both tradition and the living landscape that sustains them. Breathe. Let the rhythm of planting, of water, of seasonal change flow through you. Let the songs of harvest and festival wrap around your mind like a soft cloak. Feel the enduring connection between people and land, between generations, between human hearts and the pulse of the earth. The terraces whisper in green and gold, inviting you to pause, to reflect, to float gently on the calm of centuries, and to drift slowly, softly, into sleep. And as night falls across the mountains, the terraces glimmer beneath the rising moon. The water catches silver light, the wind whispers through bamboo, and the legacy of care, patience, and harmony settles over the land and over you. Drift with it, weightless, serene, into sleep. Breathe. Feel the soft mist of the terraces fade slowly from your mind. The green steps of the dragon's backbone dissolving into memory. The gentle rhythm of water, the quiet songs of harvest, the laughter of children, all linger for a moment, a soft echo in the folds of your imagination. Now the mountains recede. The terraces stretch backward, disappearing into a haze of sky and cloud. You move, slowly, across continents, across centuries, guided by the pulse of history, by curiosity, by the invisible thread of human wonder. The land changes beneath your feet. The emerald green of rice paddies gives way to golden sands. The mountains to desert, the mist to heat shimmering above stone. The Nile flows before you, wide and eternal, its waters reflecting the sun, as it has for thousands of years. And beneath its calm surface, a secret waits, hidden and silent, a mystery that calls to those who look beyond what is immediately seen. You see it now, a faint outline, a form submerged in water, like a memory preserved beneath the waves. Some call it the underwater Sphinx of Giza, a figure that challenges time, that questions the histories we think we know. It is not fully revealed, not fully understood, and yet its presence is undeniable, a whisper of something older, something hidden, something waiting to be remembered. Feel the weight of mystery here. The desert wind brushes over your skin, dry and warm, and the water holds its own quiet energy beneath. Scholars argue, explorers speculate, governments hesitate. And still, the Sphinx rests, patient and silent, holding secrets in its carved form, in its erosion, in the very stones around it. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of the water. The sun glints on ripples, creating a dance of light and shadow. You lean closer, and in your mind's eye, the form emerges, a face, a body, ancient yet strangely familiar, carved with intention, preserved by circumstance. Questions rise. Who built it? But could it predate the great Sphinx? Could it tell a story long forgotten? The mystery hums beneath the surface, an invitation to wonder, to imagine, to drift into thought and reflection. You feel the pull of curiosity mingled with the calm of distance. the stillness of water balancing the intensity of imagination, the past brushing gently against the present, and you breathe slow, steady, letting the question linger without need of answer, letting your mind float on the rhythm of waves. And now, close your eyes. Let the golden sands, the flowing Nile, the submerged Sphinx, and the quiet desert wind merge into a single calm, carrying you gently, softly, across centuries and mysteries. Into sleep. Breathe. Feel the soft warmth of the desert sun fade into memory, the golden sands stretching silently around you. Before you lies the Nile, flowing eternal, its waters calm yet carrying secrets older than any human memory. Beneath the surface, the underwater Sphinx waits. Its form is partially obscured by time and sediment, yet the lines are clear enough to hint at something extraordinary, something that challenges what we think we know of history. Its face, worn yet dignified, emerges in your mind's eye. A silent sentinel guarding stories long forgotten. Scholars debate, governments hesitate, and divers peer carefully into the waters. Some say it is merely a natural formation, shaped by centuries of erosion, while others whisper of lost civilizations, hidden knowledge, forgotten kings and queens. No official excavation has confirmed its age or origin, and that uncertainty gives it power, a presence that hums quietly, insistently, pulling your imagination into the depths of possibility. Imagine the Sphinx fully revealed, rising from the water, its gaze meeting yours across millennia. You sense intention in its carved lines, precision in its posture, a narrative etched into stone that refuses to be silenced. Who placed it there? What story does it hold about a world lost beneath the sands and waves? The questions themselves are like gentle ripples, expanding softly, carrying thought and curiosity without urgency, guiding you slowly toward reflection, toward wonder, toward calm. Feel the tension between certainty and mystery. Mainstream Egyptology insists on caution, on evidence, on chronology. Alternative researchers suggest bold possibilities, ideas that stretch imagination and challenge authority. The Sphinx becomes more than stone. It becomes a symbol, a reminder that history is not always linear, that the past may conceal more than it reveals. That silence itself can speak across centuries. Listen closely. The water ripples quietly, the wind brushes the desert. And in these subtle sounds, the Sphinx whispers. It does not demand answers. It offers presence, patience, possibility. Your mind drifts with the gentle waves. Your thoughts float over sand and stone. And you begin to understand the power of mystery, the calm beauty of questions unhurried, unanswered, yet profound. Breathe. Let the water, the desert, the hidden Sphinx, and the soft echoes of time carry you into reflection, into the quiet rhythm of thought. Feel the weight of centuries, the hush of obscured stories, the gentle pull of wonder. Let your imagination float like a small boat on the calm river of history, into the endless embrace of sleep. Breathe. Feel the calm of the Nile flowing beneath the sun, the soft warmth of the desert settling gently across your skin. The underwater Sphinx lies silent, partially revealed, partially hidden, and yet, in its presence, the world above stirs with whispers, debates, and quiet tension. Scholars gather, pens in hand, notes scattered like leaves across ancient tables. Some insist on caution, on chronology, on evidence carefully weighed. Their voices are measured, precise, echoing the authority of centuries of study. Yet elsewhere, curiosity blooms wild and free, sparking speculation, wonder, and ideas that challenge the established order. Governments weigh the risks. Excavation is slow, deliberate, cautious. Politics weaving through science like an invisible thread. The Sphinx is no longer just stone and water. It becomes a mirror reflecting human desire, fear, pride, and longing. Every ripple, every shadow, every whispered theory carries weight, and the mystery deepens, quietly, insistently, across the ages. Imagine yourself there, on the riverbank. You see divers preparing, tools glinting in the sun. and feel the anticipation in the air, a tension between what is known and what might yet be discovered. You sense the pulse of human curiosity, the gentle insistence of questions, pulling you deeper into thought, into reflection, into the quiet wonder that history can inspire. The desert wind sweeps across the sands. It carries stories of kings and queens, of temples lost, of civilizations forgotten. It whispers that knowledge is never complete, that even the most confident scholars must bow to time and mystery. And the Sphinx listens, silently, impervious to argument. Its presence a quiet testament to the unknown, a reminder that some truths are discovered slowly, in patience, in reflection, in imagination. Breathe. Let the tension, the curiosity, the weight of history and authority settle around you like a soft cloak. Feel the pull of unanswered questions, the quiet insistence of mystery that invites, but does not demand, that lulls the mind into wonder, that gently carries you, slowly, into the deep, calm embrace of sleep. Breathe. Feel the warmth of the desert sun fade slowly from your mind, the golden sands stretching endlessly, the Nile flowing quietly, carrying secrets beneath its surface. The underwater Sphinx rests, patient and silent, and in its stillness, you sense the echoes of the forgotten. Human curiosity is eternal. Across centuries, men and women have leaned over rivers, trudged through deserts, climbed mountains, and peered into shadows of stone, water, and memory, all in search of what lies hidden, all in pursuit of what is unknown. Each discovery, each question, each theory is a thread, woven into the fabric of history, of culture, of imagination. Memory and myth entwine here. The stories of kings and queens, of temples and tombs, of vanished civilizations, float alongside fact and evidence, blurring the line between what was, what is, and what could be. And in that blur, there is beauty, a soft, enveloping calm. For it reminds you that history is alive, that it breathes through human thought, through storytelling, through wonder. Imagine standing on the edge of the Nile. The water ripples quietly, reflecting clouds, sun, and stone. The Sphinx, half hidden beneath the waves, waits, its face a mirror of patience, its form a reminder of the limits of certainty. You feel the pull of curiosity mingled with awe, the gentle reminder that some truths are not immediate, not urgent, but slow, subtle, unfolding like the turn of the seasons, like the planting and harvest of terraces in distant mountains. History is not only what is written in books or etched in stone. It lives in memory, in stories whispered from one generation to the next, in legends carried on wind and water, in mysteries that linger just beyond the reach of certainty. The underwater Sphinx, like all enigmas, reminds you of this, that some chapters of the past are hidden, waiting, patient, inviting reflection, imagination, and the quiet pursuit of understanding. Breathe. Let your mind drift along the calm river of thought, through shadows and sunlight, through mystery and memory. Feel the gentle hum of history around you, the quiet rhythm of human wonder, the soft invitation to imagine, to ponder, to dream. Let the echoes of the forgotten carry you slowly, softly, into the deep, serene embrace of sleep. Breathe. Feel the layers of history unfolding softly in your mind, like pages turning slowly in a book written by time itself. The noise of the medieval tavern, the clink of mugs, the laughter, the stories, the fleeting moments of connection, linger like a warm memory, a pulse of human life in its raw, unguarded form. Shift now to the golden sun of ancient Egypt. Nefertiti moves through courts of marble and sunlight, her presence commanding, her gaze serene yet mysterious. She stands as a bridge between the mortal and the divine, a figure of power, beauty, and enigma. And though history tries to erase her, her legacy whispers still, carried in stone, in art, in memory. And now, breathe. The terraces of Longji stretch before you, green and alive. Water flows gently along steps carved by countless hands, hands that taught patience, harmony, and reverence for the land. The rhythm of planting, the laughter of children, the songs of harvest and festivals, all merge into a quiet, enduring meditation on human care, tradition, and balance. Finally, to drift to the still waters of the Nile, where the underwater sphinx waits. Its form, half-hidden, challenges certainty, invites imagination, stirs curiosity, and reminds you of the mysteries that lie beneath. The tension of questions unasked, the pull of hidden histories, and the gentle insistence of the unknown linger softly, like a quiet current beneath the surface of thought. Feel them all together now. The tavern, the queen, the terraces, the sphinx. Each a world unto itself, yet threads interwoven. Human connection, ambition, care, curiosity, wonder. Stories rising from mud, from stone, from water, from memory. All pulsing in harmony, whispering across time. Breathe. Let the tavern's laughter, the queen's gaze, the terrace's rhythm, and the sphinx's mystery merge into a single calm. Feel the pulse of humanity, the depth of history, and the quiet invitation to rest. Close your eyes and drift gently, letting these worlds carry you into the embrace of sleep. Breathe. Feel the dawn creeping over the thatched rooftops. Soft light spilling through wooden shutters, illuminating streets paved unevenly with stone. The air thick with the scent of wood smoke, earth, and early morning dew. Hear the quiet stirrings of a medieval town awakening. The baker kneads dough, flour dusting the air like soft snow. Children run barefoot, laughing, chasing small animals and one another. Their voices a gentle rhythm against the backdrop of clanging shutters and distant bells. The blacksmith hammers steadily, sparks dancing like fireflies, while nearby, farmers unload carts of grain, vegetables, and milk. Life here is raw, deliberate, and unhurried. Each action, from lighting the hearth to drawing water from the well, is measured, necessary, and tied to the rhythm of survival. Neighbors greet one another with nods and smiles, a shared humanity woven through every gesture, a subtle thread of trust binding the community together. Feel the weight of labor and care. Hands blistered by work, backs bent from tilling, yet hearts steady with purpose and perseverance. Every meal is a labor of patience, every tool crafted by knowledge passed down generations. The town is alive with ordinary heroism, with quiet acts of kindness, resilience, and shared effort. Notice the stories that thread through the day. Old men recount legends of knights and battles. Young women whisper tales of love, longing, and daring escape. Laughter and sighs, song and prayer, all mingling in the same air that carries the scent of bread, smoke, and fresh-cut hay. Even the marketplace hums with narrative, each transaction a story, each glance a silent conversation across space and time. Breathe. Feel the pulse of community, the rhythm of work and rest, the fragile balance of struggle and celebration. Let the sights, sounds, and textures of medieval life carry you gently into reflection, inviting your mind to wander along cobblestone streets, through open doors, across bustling courtyards, slowly, softly, into the calm embrace of sleep. Breathe. Feel the air change, carrying the subtle sweetness of roasted meats, fresh bread, and burning torches. The town hums with anticipation, the quiet rhythm of daily labor giving way to something lighter, something shared, fleeting, yet profound. Hear the drums in the distance, steady and inviting. Lutes and flutes weave soft melodies through the streets, as villagers adorn their homes with garlands, ribbons, and lanterns. Children dart between stalls, faces painted, voices laughing, while elders watch with gentle smiles, memories of festivals long past reflected in their eyes. The market square is alive with color and movement. Merchants display fabrics bright as sunrise, spices that scent the air with warmth and mystery, and handmade trinkets that catch the flickering torchlight. Neighbors greet one another with embraces and laughter, and for these hours, social boundaries soften, and the tapestry of the community is felt in its fullest form. Notice the rituals woven into celebration. Prayers for abundance, songs for protection, dances for joy, all threading together the sacred and the ordinary. Even amid hardship, scarcity, toil, uncertainty, there is space for shared delight. The flicker of firelight across stone faces, the cadence of feet on cobbles, the gentle sway of ribbons in evening wind. These are the small miracles that knit the heart of the town together. Feel the laughter of youth and the quiet contentment of elders. A bard sings of legendary heroes, love lost and found. And every listener leans into the story, their imagination bridging centuries, connecting past and present. Even fleeting, these moments are profound, echoing long after the drums have quieted, resonating in memory like soft, persistent music. Breathe. Let the warmth of communal celebration settle around you, the mingling of scents, sounds, and smiles creating a gentle comfort. Feel the pulse of shared humanity, the fragile brilliance of joy, and allow it to carry you slowly, softly, into reflection, into calm, into the deep embrace of sleep. Breathe. Feel the evening descend slowly, soft and golden, casting long shadows across cobblestones and timber-framed houses. Hear the murmur of the town settling into quiet, yet in the heart of the village, one door swings open, and the tavern hums with life, warm, chaotic, and intimate all at once. Step inside. The scent of roasted meat mingles with spilled ale and the smoke of the hearth, the warmth of fire wrapping around your shoulders like a familiar embrace. Wooden beams creak softly under the weight of centuries, and the chatter of townsfolk, travelers, and weary laborers fills the air. Laughter rises above the clinking mugs, an unspoken melody of camaraderie and human connection. A bard strums a lute gently, strings vibrating with stories of distant lands, of heroic deeds and whispered romances, of battles fought and lost, of dreams carried across oceans. Voices join in song, hesitant at first, then confident, creating a living tapestry of sound that binds every soul in the room. A story is told at one corner, a tale of trickery and wisdom, and listeners lean forward, faces glowing in firelight, eyes wide with wonder, hearts quickened by the intimacy of shared imagination. Notice the subtle rhythms of life here. A cup slides across the table with a soft clatter. Hands brush as coin exchanges hands. A warm pat on the shoulder, a wink exchanged across a crowded room. Friendships are forged in these hours, temporary yet enduring in memory, and even fleeting encounters carry the weight of human understanding and empathy. Feel the ebb and flow of emotion. Arguments flare and fade, laughter subsides and rises again. A quiet romance blooms beside the hearth, and old men recount tales from long ago, their voices soft, deliberate, carrying wisdom into the ears of the young. Every glance, every gesture, every whispered word creates a web of connection, subtle but unbreakable, binding the tavern's occupants in a fleeting yet timeless community. Breathe. Let the warmth of fire and human presence seep into your being. Let the music, the storytelling, the laughter, the quiet sighs of relief wrap around your mind like a soft, protective cloak. Feel the delicate pulse of intimacy, of trust, of shared experience, and let it carry you gently, slowly, softly, into reflection, into serenity, into the embrace of sleep. And as the night deepens, the flames flicker, shadows dance along wooden beams, and the stories continue, endless and unhurried. Each word a lullaby for the mind, each melody a guide toward calm. Slowly into the stillness of rest. Breathe. Feel the sun-drenched walls of the palace soften into memory, its golden hue warming every stone, every corridor, every shadowed chamber. Hear the quiet stir of attendants moving along polished floors, their soft footsteps echoing like whispers through the vast halls, while the scent of incense and perfumed oils drifts lazily through the air. Nefertiti walks gracefully, her presence both commanding and serene, a delicate balance of authority and quiet power that radiates without a sound. Her eyes, sharp and knowing, observe the subtle dances of courtly life, where smiles conceal ambition, and every bow carries intention. Voices murmur behind tapestries. Alliances form and dissolve in the shimmer of candlelight, and every gesture is measured, deliberate, laden with meaning. Notice the rhythm of palace life. Chambers hum with quiet negotiations, with scholars reciting sacred texts, priests offering prayers, and servants carrying messages like threads connecting the intricate web of power. Even in laughter and music, subtle tensions pulse. Soft yet persistent, like the heartbeat of a living, breathing organism. Feel the weight of history pressing gently. Decisions are made not only for today but for generations yet to come, and Nefertiti, co-ruler and enigma, moves through these moments with careful poise. Her influence is quiet yet undeniable. A tilt of the head, a raised hand, a glance, each capable of shaping destinies in the corridors of power. Imagine the palace at night. Torches flicker against murals depicting gods and kings, casting dancing shadows that blur the line between reality and memory, while the Nile gleams softly through distant windows, reminding all within of the eternal flow of time beyond human control. Even as whispers rise and fall, secrets and schemes intertwine, the queen remains a calm center, an anchor amidst the turbulence, her presence a soft, enduring meditation on authority, grace, and subtle influence. Breathe. Let the silence between footsteps, the quiet exchanges behind curtains, and the pulse of invisible power settle around your mind. Feel the depth of strategy, the beauty of patience, the art of measured action, and allow it to guide your thoughts gently, slowly, softly, into reflection, into wonder, into the calm embrace of sleep. As night deepens in the palace, candles burn low, servants retreat, and shadows stretch long. The echo of power, of legacy, of mystery, wraps around the corridors, and drifts with you into serenity. Slow, softly into rest. Breathe. Let the golden sun of Egypt dissolve slowly behind your eyelids, its warmth lingering, like memory pressing gently against the mind. The palace fades into shadow, the corridors echoing only in thought. And yet the lessons of patience, care, and quiet influence remain, echoing softly as you drift through time and space. Now, sense the land change beneath you. The flat expanses of the Nile Delta ripple backward, and mountains rise before you, steep and green, layered like the steps of eternity. The air cools, filled with mist and the gentle scent of wet earth. Here lie the terraces of Longji, the dragon's backbone, where generations of hands have carved life into the mountains, turning stone and soil into rhythm, water into sustenance, and labor into enduring art. Hear the gentle trickle of water flowing along the carefully sculpted paths, the soft whisper of bamboo leaves in the breeze, the quiet footsteps of farmers tending the fields with mindful precision. Every movement, every planting, every harvest ritual is imbued with a deep understanding of the land, a knowledge passed through centuries, an unbroken thread connecting past, present, and future. Feel the echo of Nefertiti's palace in these mountains. The care, the patience, the balance of power and purpose. Find resonance here in the measured actions of each farmer, in the quiet discipline of water flowing along terraces, in the meticulous tending of seedlings and the watchful eye over the crops. Though continents, cultures, and millennia separate them, the essence is the same. Human attention shaping life, intention shaping legacy, ritual shaping both the soul and the land. Notice the rhythm of the terraces. Water moves with grace, carried from stream to stream, balancing the needs of each layer, just as wisdom and care once balanced the pulse of a kingdom. The terraces embody continuity, sustainability, and reverence. A meditation in stone and water, in human devotion to life, an enduring testament to the quiet strength of observation, patience, and nurture. Breathe. Let the cool mist, the soft rustle of leaves, the gentle flow of water wash over your mind, carrying the legacy of two worlds together, the commanding presence of a queen, and the steadfast rhythm of generations tending the land. Feel the harmony, the connection, the continuity. As thought drifts slowly, softly, through mountains and valleys, through the passage of centuries, into reflection, into serenity, into the calm embrace of sleep. And as your mind floats above the terraces, the sun rises gently on a new day, water glinting on the steps, leaves quivering in the breeze, and the legacy of care, patience, and human ingenuity settles quietly around you. So, fleet into rest. Breathe. Feel the mountains awaken slowly under the soft caress of morning mist. Green terraces stretching endlessly, water glinting as it moves gently from level to level, each step a testament to care, rhythm, and human patience. Listen closely. The villagers stir, their movements deliberate yet graceful, feet brushing the earth, hands brushing the seedlings, and above it all, the soft songs of ritual and celebration rise. Voices intertwine with the whisper of wind and the trickle of water, creating a melody older than memory, yet alive, immediate, and tangible. The festival begins quietly. Lanterns sway from bamboo poles, casting dancing shadows that flicker across the emerald terraces. Women and men prepare offerings, small acts of reverence for the land. Rice grains carefully measured, water drawn with intention, a ritual that honors both ancestors and the cycles of nature. Children run along narrow paths, laughter mingling with the soft chants of elders. Their joy a gentle echo of centuries past, their eyes reflecting both wonder and a sense of belonging. Notice the dance of water. Irrigation channels hum with a subtle rhythm, the flow controlled, precise, yet alive with movement. Each drop nurtures life, carries tradition, and mirrors the heartbeat of the community. Just as Nefertiti's palace flowed with whispers of strategy, so here, in the mountains, human thought and action blend seamlessly with nature's own pulse. There is no haste, there is no arrogance, only patience, care, and balance. Feel the collective energy of communal life. Hands join in planting, in harvesting, in celebration. Smiles are exchanged across paths. Songs and stories ripple across the terraces, binding the villagers together through memory, ritual, and shared endeavor. Even in toil, there is joy. Even in quiet work, there is a pulse of connection, and the terraces themselves seem to hum with this harmony, a living, breathing symphony of human and natural cooperation. Breathe. Let the songs, the flowing water, the gentle laughter, and the ritual acts of reverence wash over your mind. Feel the connection between generations, between earth and sky, between human effort and natural bounty. Let your imagination drift along these terraces, step by step, water by water, song by song, slowly, softly, into the calm embrace of sleep. And as the lanterns sway in evening light, the mountains echo with gentle laughter. The water continues its quiet journey, and the legacy of balance, patience, and communal care wraps softly around your mind. So, fleet into rest. Breathe. Feel the desert sun stretching across the horizon, its golden rays spilling over temples, palaces, and sands, touching every stone with quiet insistence, and carrying with it the hum of change, of revolution, of belief. Hear the soft murmur of prayers rising to the sky, voices of priests, citizens, and scribes blending into one continuous thread, woven with devotion, hope, and awe. Akhenaten stands at the heart of this unfolding transformation, his gaze lifted toward Aten, the sun disk, his voice soft yet firm, calling the people to see the divine in its purest form. And beside him, Nefertiti moves gracefully, her presence a subtle but powerful force in the shaping of faith. She is not merely beside the pharaoh. She is part of the rhythm of the revolution, her influence flowing quietly through ritual, art, and governance. Her gestures, her expressions, even the tilt of her head, guide belief, inspire devotion, and anchor a moment of history suspended between old gods and the new dawn. Notice the rituals that unfold. Temples bathe in sunlight, gilded statues gleam. Incense curls like soft smoke through open halls, and offerings are placed with careful intention. Every chant, Every gesture, every hymn carries meaning. A delicate balance of reverence and innovation, of tradition reshaped into a new vision. Feel the tension beneath the serenity. Old priests whisper in shadowed chambers. Citizens debate quietly in markets and homes. And yet the steady rhythm of the sun above, and the unshakable presence of Nefertiti at the pharaoh's side, remind all that change can be gentle, persistent, and transformative. Imagine the Nile flowing nearby, its waters reflecting light, carrying life, and watching silently. It observes the interplay of power, faith, and human ambition, the blending of masculine and feminine influence, and the quiet shaping of a civilization's consciousness. Nefertiti, radiant and enigmatic, moves through this sacred rhythm. Her presence both anchor and spark, a symbol of balance, vision, and enduring mystery. Breathe. Let the warmth of sun, the quiet devotion, and the soft authority of Nefertiti settle around your mind like golden light. Feel the pulse of belief, the flow of change, the serenity of purpose, and allow it to carry you gently, slowly, softly, into reflection, into wonder, into the deep embrace of sleep. And as the sun arcs slowly across the sky, temples glow softly, prayers continue to rise, and the presence of two rulers shaping the hearts and minds of a people wraps quietly around your thoughts. So, into rest. Breathe. Feel the stillness of the tombs, temples, and workshops of ancient Egypt, where stone, sunlight, and human vision converge into enduring memory. Hear the faint echo of chisels carving sandstone, the soft scrape of pigment on plaster, and the quiet rhythm of hands guided by reverence, patience, and care. Nefertiti's image emerges slowly in your mind, her iconic bust, serene and precise, eyes wide and luminous, lips curved in a quiet knowing, a perfect balance of beauty, authority, and enigma. Each line, each contour, each carefully applied pigment speaks not only of a woman, but of the ideals, aspirations, and spiritual vision of a civilization reaching for permanence. Notice the interplay of myth and memory. Statues and murals tell stories of gods and kings, of divine protection, human ambition, and eternal cycles. But beneath the grand narratives, there is the personal, the hand that sculpted, the mind that envisioned, the subtle intent to immortalize thought, power, and grace. Nefertiti's likeness, captured in stone, becomes more than art. It becomes a whisper across millennia, a bridge between what is remembered and what is imagined. Feel the quiet magic of monumental art. Every shadow, every glint of sunlight on polished stone, every reflection in the eyes of a painted figure, is designed to draw attention, to inspire awe, to create a presence that outlives flesh, voice, and memory. And as you imagine standing before such works, you sense both the skill of the artist and the enduring resonance of intention. How one moment of vision can ripple across centuries, shaping thought and feeling long after its creation. Breathe. Let the glow of sunlight on sandstone, the scent of ancient incense, and the enduring gaze of Nefertiti wrap around your mind. Feel the tension between permanence and impermanence, between human effort and the passage of time, between myth and memory, art and life. Allow these reflections to carry you slowly, softly, gently, into calm, into meditation, into the deep embrace of sleep. And as the desert wind brushes across silent monuments, as the Nile continues its timeless flow, the echoes of human vision, artistry, and devotion settle quietly around you. Slow, softly into rest. Breathe. Feel the air shift, cooler now, tinged with the scent of the Nile and distant seas. Let your mind drift slowly from golden temples and sunlit palaces toward waters that have slept quietly for centuries, hiding secrets in their silent depths. The gentle ripple of water laps against stone, soft yet persistent, like whispers of forgotten history. Beneath the surface lies a shape, half-hidden, enigmatic. The so-called underwater sphinx, a sentinel of mystery. Its form smoothed by time, its story obscured by water, politics, and silence. Imagine the world that might have been. A civilization lost to memory, its ambitions, rituals, and daily life now submerged and silent. And yet, the human mind reaches, stretches, and wonders. Archaeologists, dreamers, and storytellers all feel the pull, a quiet insistence to uncover, to understand, to connect. With what came before, with what shaped the present, with what might still lie waiting beneath the surface. Notice the tension of discovery. Official histories hold firm, cautious, and measured, while alternative theories ripple outward, suggesting layers of time and civilization we barely glimpse. The Sphinx becomes a mirror, reflecting both the world above water and the currents of curiosity, imagination, and daring that flow through human thought. Feel the quiet resonance of mystery. Even unconfirmed, unseen, or unexplored, the Sphinx calls to the imagination, its form inspiring awe, speculation, and meditation. Water softens the edges of certainty, allowing questions to float freely, letting wonder, humility, and reflection rise like bubbles to the surface. Breathe. Let the calm, deep waters envelop your mind. Let the rhythm of waves, the pull of hidden history, and the gentle whisper of human curiosity carry you slowly, softly, gently, into reflection, into serenity, into the embrace of sleep. And as night falls over the Giza Plateau, and the Nile flows endlessly nearby, the underwater Sphinx rests in patient silence, its mystery untouched, yet deeply present, wrapping your thoughts quietly, into rest. Breathe. Feel the quiet settling around you, like soft mist curling through mountains, like the flicker of candlelight in a warm tavern, like the golden glow of temple walls beneath the Egyptian sun, like the gentle ripple of water over submerged stone. Across centuries and landscapes, across human endeavor and imagination, there is a thread, subtle yet unbroken. In the medieval tavern, laughter, song, and story weave a temporary community, binding souls through shared experience, fleeting yet profound. In Nefertiti's palace, whispers of authority, ritual, and devotion shape a civilization, leaving traces in stone, pigment, and memory. On the dragon's backbone terraces, human hands meet earth with patience and care, coaxing life from soil and water, connecting generations through ritual and labor. Beneath the silent waters near Giza, mystery waits, inviting the mind to wander, to imagine, to question what history hides and what we seek to uncover. Feel the resonance of human presence in all these spaces. Each moment, each gesture, each ritual, from the clink of mugs to the tilt of a royal head, from the careful planting of rice to the quiet shaping of stone, carries intention, memory, and connection. Time may separate these worlds, but the rhythm of care, curiosity, and wonder remains the same. Notice the harmony between motion and stillness. Stories rise and fall, songs are sung and remembered. Hands work, eyes observe, minds dream. Even in silence, meaning flows like water along terraces, like desert winds over temples, like shadows across a tavern floor, like currents brushing the underwater Sphinx. All of it is connected, life, art, memory, and imagination intertwined, in a meditation of human experience. Breathe. Let the laughter, devotion, labor, and mystery settle softly around your mind. Feel the pulse of connection across centuries, the echo of countless hands shaping, of countless hearts imagining, of countless souls seeking and finding meaning in their own way. And as night deepens, let the tavern quiet, the palace still, the terraces rest, and the waters lie calm, carrying their stories gently into the infinite horizon of thought. Allow all four worlds to fold around you, soft, patient, enduring, guiding you into reflection, serenity, and the deep embrace of sleep. Breathe. The tavern has settled now into the softer rhythm of midnight. The laughter that once rose in crescendos has softened into murmurs, sighs, and gentle conversations. Candles flicker, casting long, wavering shadows. Along timbered walls, across wooden floors worn smooth by countless steps. The bard's lute has quieted, leaving only the soft echo of chords that linger like gentle memory in the warm, smoky air. Travelers lean back in chairs, eyelids heavy with fatigue, their stories told, their adventures shared, their secrets safe for now. Even the hearth crackles more softly, its fire a comforting heartbeat in the quiet room. Notice the small, intimate gestures. Hands brush accidentally across a table and linger, a smile exchanged without words, the clink of a mug set down carefully, a soft sigh of contentment. In these subtle movements, there is understanding, connection, and the silent acknowledgement that for this fleeting moment, all burdens are lightened, all journeys shared. Feel the depth of the night. Outside, the village sleeps under a silvered moon. But here, in the warmth of the tavern, life continues quietly, and every glance, every breath, every whisper becomes a thread in a tapestry of human experience. Time slows, thoughts settle, and hearts remember the simple joy of being together, of belonging. Even in a world that often rushes, fights, and forgets, breathe. Let the quiet intimacy of the tavern seep into your mind. The soft music, the gentle stories, the warm firelight. Feel your own heartbeat synchronize with the pulse of human life. Slowly, softly, steadily, and allow it to carry you gently, slowly, softly, into reflection, into serenity, into the calm embrace of sleep. And as midnight deepens further, candles burn low, shadows lengthen and stretch, and the tavern becomes a sanctuary, a place where memory, laughter, and quiet whispers linger so softly into rest. Breathe. Feel the desert air cool as twilight stretches across the horizon, casting long shadows over golden sandstone, and softening the sharp lines of temples and palaces into pools of quiet, reflective light. The day's bustle fades, replaced by the hush of night rituals, a sacred rhythm as ancient as the land itself. Priests move silently through the temple corridors, hands raised in reverence, feet barely touching the polished floors, their chants weaving through the air like threads of golden smoke, carrying prayers to Aten, the radiant sun disk above. Notice Nefertiti's presence. She walks with grace, her movements deliberate yet fluid. Each step a meditation, each gesture an echo of devotion. Her eyes follow the path of light through open windows, tracing the sun's fading arc as it dips beneath the horizon. She places her hands over offerings, tilts her head in silent communion, and in her quietude, exerts influence not through command, but through the enduring power of presence and intention. Feel the rhythm of the night. Candles flicker along altars, incense curls and drifts, and the whispers of priests merge with the soft lapping of the Nile nearby. Every sound, every breath, every flicker of flame is a bridge between mortal life and the eternal, between human desire and divine observation, between fleeting existence and the enduring spirit of devotion. Imagine the meditation of ritual. Each chant, each bow, each offering is precise yet alive, a dance of time, intention, and sacred practice. And Nefertiti, poised at the center, absorbs the rhythm, her heart aligned with the flow of the universe, her mind entwined with both the divine and the mortal, her presence a gentle reminder that power can be silent, and influence can flow as quietly as moonlight across water. Breathe. Let the calm of the temple, the soft hum of chants, the glow of lamps and the scent of incense wrap around your mind and body. Feel the stillness, the reverence, the deep connection between human spirit and cosmic order. Allow it to guide your thoughts gently, slowly, softly, and quietly, into reflection, into serenity, into the profound embrace of sleep. And as the night deepens, the desert wind whispers through open courtyards, shadows stretch long and soft, and Nefertiti's presence lingers, as a quiet pulse of devotion, mystery, and calm. Slow, softly into rest, breathe, feel the first light of morning spill slowly over the mountains, golden fingers touching each terrace, each stone, each blade of rice bending slightly under the soft caress of sunlight. Mist hovers low, curling like silk along the steps of the dragon's backbone. And the world holds its breath, suspended between night and day. The villagers stir gently, stepping lightly on narrow paths. Their movements deliberate, fluid, harmonious with the earth beneath them. Buckets dip into flowing channels, water gurgles and hums, and the soft scraping of tools against soil rises like a gentle heartbeat. Every action, though simple, carries centuries of knowledge, passed from hand to hand, from parent to child, a quiet rhythm that ties them to ancestors, to the land, and to the future. Notice the dawn rituals. Before planting, before harvesting, before tending the water, small acts of reverence occur. A whispered prayer to ancestors, a gentle touch to the flowing water, a mindful bow to the rising sun. The farmers are not hurried. Their bodies, hearts, and minds move in unison with the land, observing, nurturing, and respecting the delicate balance of life around them. Feel the harmony with nature. Mist drifts through bamboo, rice bends gently, birds stir softly, and even the mountain itself seems to inhale and exhale with the people. The water channels flow precisely yet freely, carrying life, wisdom, and intention from one terrace to the next. Every droplet, every plant, every step becomes part of an intricate dance. An unspoken dialogue between human and earth. A meditation enacted daily, with patience, care, and devotion. Imagine standing there, on the terrace, as the world awakens. The air is cool but filled with quiet energy. The soft light paints terraces in layers of gold and green. And all around, life hums in a perfect, subtle rhythm. The hands that plant, the eyes that watch, the heart that feels, all are instruments in a living symphony, their work a testament to endurance, balance, and human connection. Breathe. Let the flow of water, the rustle of leaves, the soft stir of morning wash over your mind and body. Feel the harmony of generations, the quiet devotion to life, and allow it to carry you slowly, gently, softly, into reflection, into serenity, into the deep embrace of sleep. And as the sun rises higher, casting long, glowing patterns across the terraces, the village awakens fully, alive with intention, purpose, and care. And the dragon's backbone stands patiently, gracefully, its legacy of life and harmony surrounding you. Slow softly to rest, breathe, feel the palace walls, heavy with the weight of history, casting long, silent shadows across quiet courtyards. The day's bustle has ebbed, leaving only the soft murmur of guards, scribes, and attendants, moving like whispers through sun-warmed stone corridors. Nefertiti walks slowly, her presence deliberate yet quiet, each footstep measured, each gesture a reflection of thought, wisdom, and subtle authority. She does not speak loudly, she does not demand. And yet, in the soft exchange of glances, in the careful adjustment of ritual, in the silent negotiation of space, her influence resonates, bending the currents of courtly life like sunlight through latticed windows. Notice the intrigue that lingers unseen. Allies and rivals move carefully, their conversations hushed, their intentions woven into the tapestry of power, threads visible only to the attentive eye, and even then only partially, as if much of the truth resides in the pauses, the glances, and the silent weight of presence. Nefertiti navigates this web effortlessly, her mind attuned to both the overt and the hidden, her intuition a quiet compass through the labyrinth of ambition, devotion, and politics. Feel the quiet moments between court and temple. In the evenings, she steps into shadowed halls, where incense curls in soft spirals, and soft prayers rise to Aten, the golden sun disk, touching both human and divine in one continuous breath. Here, away from eyes that judge or whisper, she allows herself reflection, thought, and connection, her heart and mind aligned with duty, belief, and vision. Imagine the delicate balance. Power is not always loud, influence is not always visible. Sometimes, It flows silently, through ritual, observation, and subtle action. The palace, the temple, the Nile, the sun above, all converge in a quiet meditation of presence, foresight, and careful engagement. And Nefertiti, poised, thoughtful, and aware, becomes both participant and observer, shaping history in ways both immediate and enduring, through the gentle persistence of insight, strategy, and devotion. Breathe. Let the cool stone, the curling incense, the hushed conversations, and the quiet authority of Nefertiti wrap around your mind. Feel the subtle interplay of power, faith, and human intention, allowing it to guide your thoughts gently, slowly, softly, quietly, into reflection, into serenity, into the deep embrace of sleep. And as night settles fully over the palace, candles burn low, shadows stretch long, and the presence of one thoughtful ruler lingers quietly in the corridors, softly, patiently, into rest. Breathe. Feel the sun climbing higher, its warmth spreading across mountains and valleys, touching each terrace with gentle insistence, illuminating every ripple of water, every blade of rice, every stone pathway carved by countless hands. The village hums softly with the rhythm of communal labor. Buckets dip into water channels, carrying life along carefully guided paths. Hands work in synchronized patterns, planting, tending, adjusting. The song of the terrace rises, soft voices humming together, chanting as naturally as the wind through bamboo. A melody that has passed from generation to generation, carrying knowledge, encouragement, and unity. Notice the flow of water. It moves precisely, yet freely, guided by human care, through channels worn smooth by centuries of devotion, bringing nourishment to each terrace, each plant, each life depending upon it. Every droplet is a reminder, the work is delicate, essential, eternal. The farmer's hands move with mindfulness, their gestures gentle but purposeful, a dialogue between human and earth, between past and future, between intention and the patient flow of nature. Feel the unity of effort. Families work together, parents teaching children, grandparents offering wisdom in quiet tones. The terraces are alive with this living memory, a testament to endurance, cooperation, and respect. Every smile, every nod, every shared glance reinforces a sense of belonging, of being part of something far larger than oneself. Imagine standing there for a moment. The sun warms your skin, the water glistens, the songs of labor rise and fall like the gentle wind through valleys, and you feel the pulse of life, slow, steady, and enduring. Each step, each motion, each breath resonates with history, with care, and with the continuous cycle of human endeavor. In harmony with nature. Breathe. Let the sound of water, the warmth of sunlight, the rhythm of songs, and the careful dance of hands on soil fill your mind, settle your thoughts, and carry you slowly, gently, softly, into reflection, into serenity, into the deep embrace of sleep. And as the sun arcs across the sky, the terraces remain alive yet calm. The work continues quietly, beautifully, patiently, and the living symphony of human care wraps gently around you. Fall into rest. Breathe. Feel the desert wind drift across the palace walls, carrying with it the scent of sun-warmed stone and distant incense, and the quiet weight of history, heavy yet intangible, pressing softly against your mind. The corridors are hushed now, yet tension lingers, like heat rising from the sand in the stillness of the afternoon. Scrolls and records, carefully inked and stored, hold the memory of a civilization, yet some vanish quietly, their contents lost to time, politics, and circumstance. What was written, what was preserved, and what was intentionally erased all exist together, layered like sediment beneath the shifting sands. Notice Nefertiti moving through these quiet spaces. Her steps are measured, her presence deliberate, navigating between the ceremonial halls and private chambers, between allies whose loyalty is steadfast and those whose intentions are shadowed. In silence, she observes, she judges, she guides, Her influence felt not through loud proclamation, but through subtle gestures, quiet conversations, and the careful placement of trust and responsibility. Feel the weight of unseen power. Decisions are made in whispers, allies chosen in half-glances, opponents assessed in subtle expressions, and the fate of ideas, temples, and rituals rests upon these quiet, deliberate maneuvers. Nefertiti's mind moves like the Nile, steady, deep, and relentless, shaping currents, avoiding rocks, and nourishing the life that depends upon it. Imagine the mystery of vanished records. What knowledge was lost? What secrets remain beneath stone and sand? Even in absence, their presence is felt. A hollow resonance in the halls, a whisper in the chambers, a question hanging softly in the mind. What once was known, and what is now imagined? History is not only what survives. It is what we remember, what we interpret, and what we quietly sense. Through the echoes of vanished voices. Breathe. Let the cool shade of the palace, the distant murmur of guards, and the quiet tension of unspoken history settle around your thoughts. Feel the silent dance of power, memory, and strategy carry you slowly, gently, softly into reflection, into serenity, into the deep embrace of sleep. And as the sun dips lower, casting long shadows across stone, and the desert wind shifts with soft inevitability, Nefertiti's presence remains, quiet yet enduring. Her influence a whisper carried softly through time. Softly into rest. Breathe. Feel the warmth of the late afternoon sun soften into the gentle embrace of evening. The terraces glow in hues of gold and deep green, each step catching the light in a delicate shimmer, the water flowing softly, reflecting the sky's slow descent toward dusk. The farmers pause, their work completed for the day. Buckets rest, tools lie carefully beside them, and a quiet settles over the terraces, like the first sigh after a long day. Soft conversations drift on the air, gentle laughter rises and falls, and the subtle songs of labor echo softly, now transformed into quiet reflection. Notice the shimmer of water. It mirrors the sky's colors, shifting from gold to amber to gentle rose. And each ripple carries the memory of the day's efforts, moving patiently toward the next, like thoughts settling into calm meditation. The terraces seem to breathe along with the people, a living landscape shaped by both human hands and the rhythms of nature. Feel the connection between body and earth. Each farmer leans against a railing, watches the fading light, feeling the satisfaction of labor, the quiet pride of sustaining life, and the deep knowledge that their work continues a lineage that stretches back through centuries, carried gently by water, soil, and patient hands. Imagine the moment of stillness. The wind drifts softly through bamboo and rice. The mountains rise like guardians over valleys, and every heart around the terraces beats slowly, evenly, resonating with the calm pulse of life itself. Time seems suspended, yet alive. Every sound, every scent, every shimmer of water, becoming a meditation on patience, endurance, and harmony. Breathe. Let the evening light, the gentle wind, the quiet conversations, and the soft flow of water settle gently into your mind. Feel the enduring presence of generations, the quiet beauty of human care in balance with nature, allowing it to carry you slowly, gently, softly, into reflection, into serenity, into the deep embrace of sleep. And as the sun finally dips below the horizon, casting long shadows across terraces and valleys, and the first stars appear faintly in the evening sky, the dragon's backbone remains patient, steady, and serene, its legacy of life, care, and harmony surrounding you. Softly into rest. Breathe. Feel the soft hush of twilight settling over Giza, the golden light fading into gentle shades of purple and deepening blue, casting long, reflective shadows over the desert sands and the waters that conceal secrets beneath. The Nile's edge glimmers faintly, a mirror to the sky's fading light, and somewhere beneath the gentle surface, stone rests silently, shaped by hands unknown. Its form mysterious, partially hidden, partially revealed. The underwater sphinx waits in quiet patience, its gaze unbroken, its story unspoken, inviting the mind to wander, to question, to imagine. Notice the mystery of presence. Divers and observers move carefully along the edges of understanding, their movements deliberate, respectful, tentative. The currents of water carry whispers of ancient times, and the faint echo of waves against submerged stone feels almost like the heartbeat of history itself, a rhythm that resonates quietly in the mind, asking us to slow, to observe, to ponder what lies beyond the surface. Feel the tension between the known and the hidden. Mainstream voices offer caution, skepticism, restraint, while alternative theories hum softly in the background, speaking of lost civilizations, forgotten knowledge, and mysteries yet to be embraced. In this twilight space, uncertainty becomes meditation, and curiosity itself is a gentle invitation to explore not just stone and water, but imagination, wonder, and the enduring human desire to uncover meaning. Imagine standing at the water's edge. The light continues to fade, the horizon stretches endlessly, and the sphinx beneath the surface remains calm, silent, eternal. Time seems to slow as questions float in the air, and the mind drifts gently between certainty and mystery, between what we know and what we feel in the spaces between. Breathe. Let the shimmer of twilight, the gentle lapping of water, and the quiet presence of ancient stone settle softly into your mind and body. Feel the allure of the unknown, the invitation to curiosity, to reverie, to reflection, and allow it to carry you slowly, gently, softly, into contemplation, into serenity, into the deep embrace of sleep. And as stars begin to glimmer faintly above the desert, and the evening breeze stirs the water, the underwater sphinx remains still, patient, a silent keeper of mysteries. Softly, patiently, into rest. Breathe. Feel the warmth of the hearth seeping into the worn wooden floorboards, softly wrapping around every traveler, every villager, every wandering soul who lingers here in the quiet hours of the night. The tavern is no longer filled with clamor, no longer echoing with the boisterous laughter of midday, but it hums gently with the subtle rhythm of stories told, of memories shared, and secrets entrusted. The crackle of fire becomes a steady heartbeat, a comforting pulse that echoes softly in the chest. Mugs rest half-empty on tables, the scent of spiced ale and roasted bread lingering in the warm, smoky air. Soft murmurs rise and fall, voices threading through shadows, weaving tales of journeys taken, battles survived, and loves quietly cherished. Every pause, every glance, every nod carries meaning, a silent affirmation that even in fleeting moments, connection persists. Notice the quiet intimacy. Two travelers speak in hushed tones, their words a gentle current beneath the surface of the night. A bard tunes his lute, softly plucking a chord that shivers like sunlight on water, and in the rhythm of his music, memories awaken, and the heart softens, surrendering to reflection. The tavern keeper moves between tables with slow grace, ensuring comfort, safety, and that the delicate balance of peace remains intact. Feel the echo of stories. Every mark on the table, every scratch on the floor, every worn chair and polished beam carries whispers of past nights. They mingle with the warmth of the fire, the faint aroma of herbs and roasted meat, and the soft sigh of the wind slipping through cracks in the old walls. In this space, history itself seems to breathe, as if the tavern remembers each conversation, each laughter, each tear shed, and holds it in gentle, timeless memory. Imagine resting here for a while. The fire casts dancing shadows, softly illuminating faces lined with experience, eyes that gleam with quiet understanding. Time seems to bend, stretching out slowly, allowing the mind to wander, to reflect, to feel the soft pulse of human connection. And even as eyelids grow heavy, the warmth, the stories, the laughter, and the quiet intimacy remain, carrying a gentle reassurance that life, in all its chaos and simplicity, endures. Breathe. Let the warmth of the hearth, the murmured stories, and the soft music settle into your mind and body. Feel the presence of generations, of hearts joined together in fleeting moments, and allow it to carry you slowly, gently, softly, into reflection, into serenity, into the deep embrace of sleep. And as the fire dims, and the tavern itself seems to exhale, every shadow, every whisper, every flicker of warmth lingers softly, slowly, patiently, into rest. Breathe. Feel the soft hush of evening over the sands of Egypt, the golden glow of the fading sun casting long, gentle shadows across towering temples and stone courtyards. The world slows, inviting reflection, reverence, and stillness, as if the desert itself is holding its breath, watching, waiting, and remembering. The whispers of history drift through the air, soft as the brush of wind over sandstone, carrying stories of queens and pharaohs, of rituals performed in devotion to Aten, and of one presence that endures even when records fade. Nefertiti. Notice her quiet influence. Though centuries have passed, her image lingers, etched in art, in memory, in the human fascination with power, beauty, and mystery. Her hands guided rituals, her gaze shaped decisions, her mind navigated the delicate currents of court and temple. Her presence was subtle, profound, and lasting, a testament to the enduring impact of vision, courage, and wisdom. Feel the interplay of light and shadow. As the sun dips lower, the temples gleam with golden edges, columns stretching like fingers toward the sky, and the desert stretches endlessly beyond, a landscape of silence, reflection, and timeless endurance. Here, past and present converge, and the human desire to seek, to understand, to remember, meets the quiet patience of stone, sand, and sky. Imagine standing there for a final moment. The air carries the scent of warmth and incense. The soft murmur of the Nile drifts from afar, and the wind brushes gently across your face. Nefertiti's legacy, mysterious yet visible, quietly reminds us that history is both what survives and what we imagine, a living dialogue between human memory and time itself. Breathe. Let the soft glow of fading light, the whisper of ancient stones, and the gentle pulse of enduring legacy settle into your mind and body. Feel the continuity of human effort, devotion, and imagination, allowing it to carry you slowly, gently, softly, into reflection, into serenity, into the deep embrace of sleep. And as night finally descends, and stars shimmer above the desert horizon, the temples, the memories, the presence of Nefertiti, and the mysteries of human history linger softly around you, slowly, patiently, into rest. Breathe. Let the stories of centuries settle softly around you, like gentle waves lapping at the edges of memory. Feel the warmth of the tavern hearth, the quiet authority of a queen walking through ancient corridors, the patient rhythm of terraces carved by human hands, and the silent mystery of stone resting beneath water. Every whisper, every shadow, every ripple of time carries a story, a lesson, a fleeting moment of connection. From the clamor of laughter and song to the hushed prayers at dusk, from the labor of hands tending earth to the gaze of stone that has watched millennia, each moment blends into a tapestry of human life and imagination, woven carefully, enduringly, across the vast expanse of history. Notice the harmony of past and present. The world you have visited in your mind, the tavern, the palace, the terraces, the Sphinx, exists now not just in history, but in reflection, in the quiet space between thought and dream, in the gentle settling of awareness into peace. Time flows differently here. It slows, it stretches, it cradles you, in the soft embrace of understanding, wonder, and serenity. Feel the calm. Let the warmth, the light, the rhythm, and the mystery carry you gently into stillness. Your mind drifts, unfurling like mist over the terraces. Your heart beats softly like whispers in the palace halls. Your breath moves steadily, like the desert wind over sand and stone. And your soul floats quietly, weightless, calm, Breathe. Let the stories rest, let the echoes fade, and let sleep take you fully, gently, endlessly. For in the quiet of night, all histories merge, all mysteries remain, and all hearts find their soft, patient place in the timeless embrace of rest. Slowly, softly, into sleep.